Well, here at the moment today, both parties on Capitol Hill digging in once again, not budging on day 29 of the government shutdown, and a deadline, a major one, looming this weekend. A lot is on the line. Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Doug Proffitt.
And I'm Connie Leonard. Democrats have repeatedly rejected a Republican-led effort to reopen the government because the bill doesn't address a crucial health care issue. Now, with Affordable Care Act subsidies on track to expire at the end of this year, health care premiums are expected to surge. Republicans say they're open to negotiating whether to extend those subsidies, but not until more Democrats vote to pass the current proposed bill.
So in the meantime, the shutdown is having a real impact on military families right here in the state of Kentucky.
The uncertainty on the service member side is the part that's really set fear into these kids. And that's what's, it breaks my heart, but like we've got to figure it out.
People working at the Fort Knox Army installation sharing personal stories of the struggles for families there as the government shutdown nears 1 month.
And that roundtable discussion in Radcliffe, Kentucky today, hosted by Republican Congressman Brett Guthrie. And
they heard from people already struggling. Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Jessica Farley were there. And Isaiah, the real impact's coming to light as SNAP benefits will end this Saturday.
Yeah, Doug, just in a few days, and Kentuckians eligible for federal food assistance have started to get those letters saying they won't be getting those benefits again starting in November. And we're continuing to see the ripple effects.
It's been growing, and so bigger need than we thought.
St. Christopher Parish's food pantry can paint the picture of just how desperate things are for many families in Radcliffe, Kentucky, amid the government shutdown.
One was a government worker, and she said, I shouldn't even be here, but she said, I'm not getting paid. And so she was worried about having enough food for the household.
Parish Secretary Kathy Jordan tells me they served meals for 120 families this past Monday, a noticeable uptick from the summer. Some of those people, she says, were seniors who were just notified they won't be getting their SNAP benefits starting this Saturday because of the shutdown.
One of them even brought one of the letters in, and they were worried. They're scared.
The growing call for help stretches over to Fort Knox and those military families left in limbo.
90 people have rolled through that have never said I need before.
Amy Grimm is the founder of Warrior Warehouse, which has its own food pantry located on the Army installation. Working with the Red Cross, Grimm says they've seen demand spike 100%.
They are worried that they can't get to and from their house, which is a short distance, get what they need because they don't have enough money to pay for the gas to get off posts to try to shop downtown on the economy.
We asked Republican Kentucky Congressman Brett Guthrie what more he and other elected officials can do to mitigate these issues. And you'll hear from Congressman Brett Guthrie tonight at 6. By the way, service members at Fort Knox are expected to be paid this Friday, but after that, the Trump administration has said the military may start going without pay by mid-November if the government doesn't open back up by then. Connie.
Isaiah, thank you. All new tonight, the Louisville Metro Police Department is encouraging you to help combat crime in the city in a new way. It's called Connect Louisville. Now, the new initiative is meant to help officers be more effective and precise in their response to emergency situations. To do this, LMPD is encouraging business owners and residents to join LMPD's Louisville Connect camera network. That network helps first responders when a crime is happening, and it helps investigators gather evidence after. LMPD says about 1,400 cameras around Jefferson County are already in the network, but LMPD wants more. The department says many times people can be discouraged from joining because of privacy concerns.
We want you to know that your privacy does matter. And so we have taken that into account, and we only have access to camera footage in the event that criminal activity occurs or in the event of an emergency response.
Now, types of cameras you can integrate into the network include Ring doorbells and other small and large security cameras. The announcement is the latest in the list of new initiatives LMPD is using to try and curb crime, including the drone as a first responder program and the new Lou Ready app, where callers can upload video in real time during an emergency situation.
More local news. A woman is dead after an overnight shooting in Simpsonville, not far from I-64. It happened around 12:40 a.m. near the Veachdale Apartments. Police and EMS responded to the Veachdale apartment complex on Buck Creek Road for a call about shots fired. The victim died at the scene. Police believe the shooting's an isolated incident there in Shelby County. Anyone, though, who can help Simpsonville police detectives should call the Simpsonville Police Department at 502-527-8695.
And a Jeffersonville child is recovering after being hit by a car today. The Jeffersonville Police Department said that incident happened near an intersection that's by Jeffersonville High School just before 7:30 this morning. Jeffersonville police said traffic near that area was briefly congested as police were on scene. The child was taken to a local hospital to be evaluated, and their current condition is unknown.
It's been a day of steady, unrelenting rain across Kentuckiana and very chilly, and as you can see, it's still with us.
Yeah, and it's making some problems kind of dangerous out on the roads because there's water gathering, and when it gets dark, it is a mess out
Getting
there.
darker earlier.
Right. As we know, it's difficult for people to drive in drizzle or even sunny weather. And, you know, we're putting these showers on top of that. Nothing all too heavy, but we are seeing some ponding on the roads. That paired with also wet leaves. Those can be slick as well. So please exercise some caution as you're out and about this evening. And yes, with those earlier sunsets, that will make driving a little bit dangerous as we continue onward over the next few hours here. But you can tell the radar, it's picking up here in the Louisville metro. So things have been very light and misty over the last couple of hours here. Some steadier rainfall is rotating back through here. And you can see the big picture view of the Kentuckiana viewing area. So we have had some banding of some higher rainfall or more moderate, heavier rainfall throughout southern Indiana. Also seeing that now lifting up northward to the parkway. So there will be some periods where we have some heavier downpours, definitely lowered visibility across the area, just a mile and a half here in Louisville. Your hourly planner, yes, this is set to continue. Temperatures hovering upper 40s, lower 50s. Those overnight lows obviously not budging all too much. For the bus stop tomorrow morning, the kiddos likely still need the rain jacket in the morning, but by the afternoon, we're finally drying things out, clearing things up. It will be breezier tomorrow with highs in the 50s. We will take a look ahead at our drier Halloween forecast. That's coming up in just a bit, guys.
Mallory, thanks. More top stories today. The Kentucky legislature wants to attract data centers to the state, and regulators are paving the way for that. Other states have embraced data centers like this one from our sister station in Ohio. But here at home, the Public Service Commission approved part of LG&E and KU's request to build more power generation. That happened just yesterday afternoon. The approval coming, well, the utilities have said that they need this electricity primarily for incoming data centers.
But regulators didn't give the companies everything they wanted. Travis Breeze tells us what they didn't get and what some environmental groups are saying.
There's one hyperscale data center currently being built in Kentucky, near Louisville's Rubbertown neighborhood. Utility companies say to attract more of these projects, they need more gas or coal power plants.
I was disappointed to learn that they did approve them.
Andy McDonald is with the Kentucky Solar Energy Society. He and several others who intervened against LG&E and KU in this case met me in Old Louisville's Central Park to discuss the decision. The PSC approved the construction of two new 645 megawatt natural gas generators, or NGCCs. One is at the Mill Creek Power Plant on Dixie Highway. They denied a request to extend the life of a coal plant from 2027 to 2031 at the same location.
The NGCCs weren't replacement for coal plants in this case, so it's additional fossil infrastructure that wouldn't have been in there in the first place.
Byron Gary with the Kentucky Resource Council says they're worried about environmental impacts and costs to regular customers if more data centers don't come to share the cost. The PSC also warned the utilities about the dangers of data centers not coming to help pay for this generation, saying in its press release, the PSC admonished the utilities that if load growth does not materialize as anticipated, LG&E/KU will be expected to hold to their statement that they will not build the facilities approved in the order if that is not the least cost option. In other words, they might have to stop construction if data centers don't come.
I appreciate that, and I hope the PSC actually holds them to it.
An LG&E spokesperson said she appreciates the PSC giving them approval to build two new gas plants and that the electricity will serve all customers and new economic development growth. These activists say one big positive is how many Kentuckians learned about data centers and shared their thoughts at recent meetings.
Bringing this to light and bringing awareness is always a good thing.
And the commissioners pledged to stay involved too, to see if the demand comes. Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.
LG&E says the natural gas combined cycle generators that were approved emit 80% less CO2 than a coal plant.
The utilities were also approved to make a coal plant in Carroll County cleaner by adding a scrubber that cleans those emissions.
Right now, we have more on a story we first reported to you last night on the WHAS 11 night team at 11. Another full-time ambulance is coming to Hardin County now. The 9th full-time ambulance and crew will be at the newly renovated West Hardin Fire and Rescue Station. That's in White Mills, Kentucky. The West Hardin Volunteer Fire Department raised $25,000 to convert and upgrade its station to include living quarters to support and house an EMS crew right on site. The other ambulances are in E-Town, Radcliffe, Sonora, and at the Hardin County Detention Center. Officials say the goal is for it to be fully operational by mid-November.
A scam alert for you Indiana drivers. The Indiana Bureau of Motor Vehicles says there's a new texting scam that's going around. Indiana BMV says the new scams mimic its mobile website and improperly cites Indiana code. The scam message says the recipient must issue a payment immediately through a website linked at the bottom of the text message. BMV officials say the messages should be considered fraudulent and urge the public to delete them.
More coverage of the hurricane for you next. The deadly Hurricane Melissa devastating Jamaica and churning through Cuba today. Our chief meteorologist Mallory Schnell is tracking what's left of Melissa, where it's going next when we come right back.
And here's a check of today's Kentucky Lottery jackpots. Mega Millions, $754 million. Powerball, $376 million.
The Kentucky Lottery, funding education.